A chef travels through a fantasy world and awakens a powerful culinary god system. When a dish is praised by others, it can enhance talent, bones, and understanding. Good guy, we just took off in place. Moreover, the dishes made also have special effects, which can enhance the body, warm and nourish the body, and remove hidden injuries. The entire sect is boiling. From the ancestor, the supreme elder, the sect leader, to the miscellaneous disciples, all fell into madness over this stuttering. Master, I am the master, and I should be the one to take this first bite. Ancestor, rolling calf, I haven't had a good life for many years. Is it wrong to want to eat something? It's time for dinner, brothers, hurry up, said the disciples. Chapter 1. Food System. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On a sunny morning, at the foot of the divine sword peak of Taoist sect, this area belongs to the area of miscellaneous disciples. Yi Changqing sat at the entrance of the small courtyard, looking slightly decadent. It had been half a month since he passed away, but the system father still did not appear. In such a fantasy world where demons run rampant and cultivators can fly through mud and sand, the consequences of not having a system are clearly self-evident. Not only does the system not have it, but Grandpa Ring also does not have it, and he is not an orphan, which makes Yi Changqing unable to see any glimmer of hope. In his past life, he was just a good cook who worked hard for many years and opened a decent restaurant with decent business. But who could have imagined that while thinking about the spatula, with a loud bang in a blazing fire, when I woke up again, I was already in this sect. What's even more infuriating is that he was a cook in his past life, but after crossing over, he was still a cook. The current identity of this body is that it is a miscellaneous disciple of Xinjian Peak, one of the 36 peaks of the Taoist sect, and is responsible for the kitchen. I don't need to say much about the miscellaneous disciples, nor about the kitchen. In other words, I still cook for people. A cultivator can achieve the goal of clearing valleys, but it will have to wait until after the completion of the alchemy realm. Lower-level cultivators still have to eat, so Yi Changqing's task is to prepare meals for those external disciples. Of course, even so, there are hardly any people coming to this kitchen. The disciples from outside have their own places to eat. Who would come all the way to the foot of this mountain just to have an ordinary meal? They pursue longevity, who would devote their energy to cooking. Perfectly inheriting the memories of my predecessor, I was born into a big family in a small town, which is said to be a big family, but it is just about dividing 1 acre of land into 3 parts. As the only child in the family, my parents naturally hoped for their son to become successful. In addition, Yi Changqing's grandfather has some friendship with a deacon of the Taoist sect, and it is said that he saved someone's life. The specific details are also unclear. So when Yi Changqing turned 15, the Yi family did their best, even resorting to that kind gesture of kindness, which led to Yi Changqing being sent to the Taoist sect. Unfortunately, the cultivation talent of the predecessor cannot be said to be lacking, but it is not much, and there is no hope for external disciples. In the end, with some effort, he became a glorious miscellaneous disciple. Being able to barely cultivate at the foot of the mountain can be considered a breath of cultivating immortality. It was only after a year that my predecessor struggled to break through to the beginner level of the body refining realm. If we continue at this speed, we will live to the end of our lives and achieve complete body refining. As for the feeling chi realm, don't expect it. On the journey of cultivation, starting from the most basic realm of physical cultivation, one by one goes up to the following realms. Sensory Qi realm, Chongmai realm, Jidan realm, Purple Mansion realm, Yuanying realm. It can be said that the cultivation realm has not even crossed the threshold of cultivation. The system dad doesn't have it, the ring grandpa doesn't have it, and no one is coming to divorce. His talent is still so weak, so I'm afraid this immortal won't have to be cultivated. Why don't we go home and inherit those 10,000 acres of good land? I was thinking in my heart whether to go home or not. Since I couldn't become a cultivator, it seemed good to be a wealthy man. After crossing over, Yi Changqing didn't hesitate to work hard, it's just that this cultivation emphasizes talent. Without talent, no matter how hard you try, it's in vain. As for the eunuch of the Yi family, he did take some care of Yi Changqing at first, but over time, as Yi Changqing did not make any progress, they gradually became estranged. Being able to bring you into the Taoist sect, in other words, the previous kindness will be cleared. However, at this moment, a ding sound suddenly came to mind, and in an instant, Yi Changqing only felt the tiger's body shake. Ding, system binding is in progress. A few words are like the most beautiful language in the world. System, introduce yourself. As a traveler, Yi Changqing is no stranger to the system, skipping the process and heading straight to the theme. This system is the strongest god of food system. Just the first sentence of the system stunned Yi Changqing directly. Dog system, I'll give you another chance to organize language. It's easy to say what system it is. I really hope for the stars and the moon. I finally brought them to you. Can you tell me that you are the god of food system? Isn't this just cooking? It's reasonable for you to give such a system to the real world, but this is a fantasy world where demons run rampant. Do you want me to use a spatula to defeat demons and eliminate them? However, as the system explained, Yi Changqing's expression slowly changed. It's a food system, but this system is a fantasy version. As long as Yi Changqing's dishes receive praise from others, they can receive rewards, including but not limited to talent, roots, lifespan, and even cultivation. The strongest food system binding has been completed, host. Yi Changqing. Identity. A miscellaneous disciple of the Dongzhou Road sect in the how-to world. Cultivation. Beginner level of body refining realm. Reputation. Silent and nameless. The beginner gift package is being distributed at How to World Food Ingredients Knowledge Complete Collection. Obtain recipe. Braised noodles. The system also directly distributed the beginner gift package, and then fell into silence. However, Yi Changqing only felt countless pieces of information emerge from his mind in an instant, and it took about 15 minutes to fully digest these pieces of information. This is the vast world of ingredients that the system transmits to itself. After all, this is not a past life. In the vast earth world, there are many demon beasts and spiritual ingredients. Using them as ingredients naturally cannot be viewed with the eyes of a past life. As a chef, in order to make delicious food, the first step is to have a detailed understanding of the ingredients. As for the recipe, it is a reward given to oneself by the system. By obtaining the recipe, Yi Changqing will have a perfect grasp of this dish, and the taste it produces will be unparalleled. Click on the introduction about braised noodles. Braised noodles, a simple staple food, made with the most common alkaline water surface and paired with sauce made from red-striped pigs, are simple and delicious. Eating them can enhance physical fitness, but the effect is weak. The red-striped pig, as Yi Changqing knows, is an unremarkable demon beast. It is said to be a demon beast, but in reality, the red-striped pig exists between demon beasts and ordinary wild beasts. It is very common that even ordinary restaurants use red-striped pigs as ingredients, as the meat quality of red-striped pigs is much more delicious compared to ordinary wild boars. There is also a special effect, and I couldn't help but feel a little itchy for a moment. I don't know how the braised noodles in this vast earth world are different from those in my past life. Under the rise, Yi Changqing immediately stood up and walked towards the kitchen. Just as soon as she entered the kitchen, Yi Changqing was taken aback. As soon as she saw it, there were prompts in front of her. The ordinary red-striped pig hind leg meat comes from a mother pig, aged 5 years old, slaughtered yesterday afternoon. A plain and unremarkable green melon, without any outstanding features. The ordinary green onions have no outstanding features. Ordinary frying pans can be seen everywhere. A regular kitchen knife can be seen everywhere. Anything related to the chef, Yi Changqing can easily see their quality at a glance, which makes him unable to resist being stunned on the spot. Chapter 2. Talent Increase. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. I didn't expect the system to have such a feature, and Yi Changqing couldn't help but be delighted. After being shocked, he took off a red striped pork and chopped it before starting to stir-fry the sauce. The most crucial aspect of braised noodles is naturally the sauce, which is the key to the quality of the taste. With the reward from the system, Yi Changqing has long been familiar with the method of making this braised noodles, and not only that, but the system can also provide prompts during the production process. For example, temperature, time, and so on. Quickly, a pot of fragrant mixed sauce came out of the pot. Smelling the fragrance, Yi Changqing couldn't help but nod. Next is cooking noodles, which is quite simple. After boiling the water, add 3 layers of cold water in sequence to make the noodles more delicious. Noodles were taken out of the pot, mixed with sauce, and sprinkled with some green onions. Just then, a petite little loli appeared in the courtyard at an unknown time. Some babies have chubby faces, pink and cute, but at this moment, the little girl's gaze is fixed on Yi Changqing, more precisely, the big bowl in his hand. It smells so good. What are you doing? Quickly approached Yi Changqing and asked. This thing is called braised noodles, and by the way, you're drooling. Looking at the saliva flowing from the corner of the little girl's mouth as she spoke, Yi Changqing said helplessly. Oh, I'm sorry, it's so fragrant. I couldn't help it, I'm sorry. Can you make a bowl for me to eat? I really want to eat it. Seeing this girl with a pitiful and delicate expression, her big eyes were filled with pleading, as if she was about to cry for a bowl of braised noodles. Seeing this, Yi Changqing smiled slightly and immediately handed over the bowl in his hand. I haven't eaten yet, if I don't mind. Don't mind, don't mind. Before he could finish speaking, the bowl had already been snatched away, so fast that even Yi Changqing couldn't see it clearly. I have never eaten braised noodles before. This girl doesn't even know how to mix them, she just picked them up and ate them, but even so, she still praised them repeatedly. Delicious, delicious. Regarding this, Yi Changqing looked puzzled. Can noodles alone be so delicious? You're not eating right, you need to mix it first, mix the ingredients and noodles together. Unable to bear watching, Yi Changqing spoke up and gave some guidance. Finally, under the personal demonstration of Yi Changqing, the girl finally learned to eat noodles correctly. After mixing the braised noodles, Yi Changqing seemed to see a gleam in her eyes as she took a bite. Then came the remnants of the wind and clouds, whose seemingly small mouth seemed to have transformed into an abyssal giant. Slow down, no one is competing with you, eat slowly. I don't know who this girl is, but seeing her like this, Yi Changqing smiled. As a chef, it is naturally gratifying to see what one has made being liked by others. I %amp, %amp. I couldn't hear what the girl was saying at all. Yi Changqing walked into the kitchen with a smile and cooked some noodles. Braised noodles are like this, as long as there is sauce, it is very convenient. When Yi Changqing finished cooking the noodles and lifted the bowl out, the girl had already finished eating, but her gaze was once again on the bowl in Yi Changqing's hand. My face couldn't help blushing, but I couldn't help but say. Can you cook me another bowl? It's really delicious. Looking back at the taste just now, the little girl was so moved that she couldn't resist it. It was the first time she had tasted it, and she never expected it to be so delicious in this world. Seeing this, Yi Changqing smiled and said. Give me the bowl. I cooked more before, and upon hearing this, the little girl happily handed the bowl to Yi Changqing. Afterwards, 2 figures, one big and one small, sat side by side at the kitchen door, chattering loudly. Yi Changqing is eating normally, but that little girl can only be described as ferocious. There are indeed some effects of enhancing physical fitness, but they are not significant. If you don't feel them seriously, you won't notice them at all. The food made by Yi Changqing, which is bound to the system, has special effects, but the effect of this braised noodles is not significant. The taste is good, and Yi Changqing doesn't exaggerate the things she makes herself like that little girl. After eating 2 large bowls, the little girl patted her swollen belly and awkwardly said to Yi Changqing beside her. I don't usually eat so much, today it's because you made it so delicious that I can't hold back for a while. An unconvincing explanation, but Yi Changqing didn't care either. There's nothing embarrassing, just like it. Of course I do. This is the most delicious thing I have ever tasted, but can I still come in the future? Perhaps worried about not being able to eat it in the future, the little girl looked at Yi Changqing and asked with some nervousness. Regarding this, Yi Changqing was puzzled. His place was originally the kitchen of the Divine Sword Peak, so why can't he come? This is the kitchen of Shenzhen Peak, originally a place for cooking for the disciples of Shenzhen Peak. You can come anytime. Upon hearing these words, the little girl was taken aback, but immediately burst into a silly smile. So this is the kitchen, I never knew before. That's a deal, I'll come every day from now on. Feeling in a good mood, the little girl dropped these words and bounced towards the door. However, as she was about to leave, she suddenly turned back to look at Yi Changqing. By the way, my name is Lu Yuyu. Thank you for treating me to braised noodles. After finishing speaking, he ran away. I haven't heard of this name before, and Yi Changqing doesn't care either. It's just that after Lu Yuyu left, the system's prompt sound suddenly sounded. Ding, I received a positive review from Lu Yuyu, and the current progress is 1/100. Reward talent increases by 1 point, cultivation increases by 1 point. The so-called progress is the level of positive reviews. After reaching 100 positive reviews, you can unlock other dishes. After all, as a chef, it is impossible to have only one dish. Just a bowl of braised noodles is not enough for a feast. But with a slight increase in talent, Yi Changqing didn't have any special feelings. System, bring up the personal panel. Host. Yi Changqing. Identity. A miscellaneous disciple of the Taoist sect. Cultivation. Beginner level of body refining realm. 81/100, fame. Silent and nameless. Talent. Lower level medium level, 51/100, root bone. Lower level upper level, 30/1000, understanding. High grade medium level, 20/100000, in addition to intelligence, talent, and bones, they are all a batch of trash. The little talent we just rewarded has already been increased. Understanding should be my improvement after traveling. Intelligence has already surpassed many people, at least enough to reach the ranks of geniuses. Just having comprehension is not enough. It's like being able to understand the content of a cultivation technique, but not being able to cultivate it. What's the use of that? What are you watching? There is still a long way to go, but with the system, Yi Changqing has also gained confidence. First, rest assured that you will live 180 years under the guidance of the Taoist sect. By then, your talent will improve and you will also be a proud figure. The only damn thing is that the higher the level, the more difficult it is to improve, like understanding, which requires 100,000 points to improve. However, Yi Changqing is not the kind of person who is arrogant. He just perseveres and has a system in place, at least bottlenecks do not exist. It's just a matter of time. And in the Taoist sect, there is no need to worry about any danger. Chapter 3. Dinner is ready. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, Yi Changqing was fortunate to have joined the Taoist sect. As the leader of the Eastern Orthodox Tao, he did not have to worry about safety issues within the Taoist sect. Moreover, the rules of the Taoist sect are strict, and their disciples will not engage in self-destructive activities. On the contrary, the disciples of the Taoist sect are very united and friendly. At least Yi Changqing is within the Taoist sect, and even as a miscellaneous disciple, he has not suffered any bullying. This may be related to the assessment of disciples recruited by the Taoist sect. There is a precious treasure in the Taoist sect called the Zhaoshan mirror, which can distinguish right from wrong, know good and evil. Any disciple who joins the Taoist sect must pass the test of the Zhaoshan mirror, and only those with a goodwill value of 90 or above can pass. The next step is the talent test. If you can't even pass the level of Zhaoshan mirror, even if your talent is incredible, Daoyi Zone won't accept you. This is also true for miscellaneous disciples. Because of this, there are no such bandits in the Daoyi sect. The atmosphere of the entire sect is peaceful, and the number of people is not large. It is indeed like a legendary holy land of the immortal family. The entire Taoist sect has 36 peaks, with only around 70,000 to 80,000 disciples from the outer sect and only over 10,000 disciples from the inner sect. In contrast, the number of miscellaneous disciples has increased significantly, reaching over 100,000. However, according to the status of the Taoist sect, such a large number of disciples is already considered rare. This is also the belief that the Taoist sect has always upheld, preferring scarcity over excess, regardless of the number of disciples, but every disciple is an elite. For example, among the disciples of the inner sect, the lowest cultivation level is also in the Jidan realm, and there are also instances of the Purple Mansion realm and even the Yuanying realm. As for external disciples, although there are no strict requirements except for age and talent, as long as they have talent, bones, and understanding, they can all reach the top level, and through the heart-reflecting mirror, they can become external disciples. But before the age of 30, if one cannot break through the Chonmai realm, they will be directly dispatched by the sect to manage the industry of the Tao sect in the secular world, which means there will be no more immortal fate from then on. It is not an exaggeration to say that when disciples of the Taoist sect are released to the outside world, each one can be considered a genius, which is also the reason why the Taoist sect has been able to stand tall in the East continent. Of course, this naturally does not include miscellaneous disciples, because miscellaneous disciples actually do not care about talent. Or to put it bluntly, the miscellaneous disciples are mostly used for personal favors, just like Yi Changqing. Even so, there are still countless people who are squeezing their heads to enter the Tao school, even if it's just a miscellaneous disciple. I feel that Daoyi Zone is really suitable for me. The relationship within the sect is harmonious and the strength is strong, so I can rest assured to stay. I looked at the time and found that it was almost time for dinner. The Divine Sword Peak Kitchen has 2 meals a day, but usually only miscellaneous disciples come here. Outsiders never come here, and even miscellaneous disciples do not come in large numbers. There are thousands of miscellaneous disciples in Xinjiang Peak, and it is estimated that less than 100 people come to the kitchen every day. Let's have braised noodles for lunch today. Turning around and entering the kitchen, Yi Changqing began preparing lunch for today. Meanwhile, on the mountainside, 2 beautiful girls were cleaning the yard for an external disciple. This is also the job of miscellaneous disciples. I have been busy since the morning until now, and finally I have finished everything. One of the girls wiped the sweat off her forehead and smiled. I'm afraid we won't have time to cook today. Let's go to the kitchen to eat. Most of the miscellaneous disciples cook their own meals in groups of 3 or 5, let alone external disciples. They don't care what they eat, just a 5 grains pill can solve it. Compared to having to eat, what they care more about is breaking through the pill formation realm as soon as possible and becoming internal disciples. So, the kitchen that Yi Changqing is responsible for is almost a transparent existence at Xinjiang Peak. Unless it's like these 2 girls who don't have time to cook because they have something to do, they will go to the kitchen to deal with a meal. Upon hearing these words, another girl frowned slightly. Kitchen, the food there is so bad, I don't want to go. But I don't have time now, and I'm so tired. After working all morning, both women were indeed tired. After hesitating for a moment, the girl who had previously refused reluctantly nodded and said, "Okay, let's go deal with it first, and we'll do it ourselves later tonight." As the 2 women spoke, the owner of this courtyard also walked out, a handsome young man. It should be said that there seem to be no ugly people within the Tao school, even the miscellaneous disciples are handsome men and beautiful women. Of course, in terms of appearance, Yi Changqing definitely belongs to the top tier of arrogance. Anyway, so far, no one can compare with him, so readers can slightly surpass him. Thank you for your hard work. Smiling at the two maids, they quickly bowed respectfully upon hearing the words. Senior Brother Wu's words are heavy. This is already our responsibility. Facing the miscellaneous disciples, Senior Brother Wu did not show any arrogance, but rather was very kind. This is also the way disciples of the Tao sect usually get along, which is very normal. He rewarded some silver coins as a token of his kindness and immediately let the two women leave. Although the miscellaneous disciples need to do a lot of work, at least there are many external and internal disciples in the entire Xinjiang Peak, and the daily life of the miscellaneous disciples is the responsibility of the miscellaneous disciples. But as long as the work is completed, the rest of the time can be freely allocated by oneself. Leaving from Senior Brother Wu, the two women walked along the mountain road towards the foot of the mountain. At the same time, from all over the Xinjiang Peak, there were also 3 or 2 miscellaneous disciples advancing towards the kitchen. The number of people is not large, and at best, there are only 50 or 60 people. These people are all planning to go to the kitchen to deal with a meal for various reasons. At the kitchen door, Yi Changqing had already set up a big pot and brought a large table. There is water boiling in the pot, and noodles can be cooked at any time. On the large table next to it, there is a large basin full of mixed sauces, as well as various other ingredients such as green onions and melons. In order to maintain the taste, Yi Changqing learned from his past life and did not cook noodles in advance. Instead, he waited for someone to come and cooked and ate them immediately. This way, the taste of the noodles naturally improved. Not long after, the first group of miscellaneous disciples walked into the courtyard, accompanied by 3 young people. Changqing Junior Brother, what are you doing? At first glance, seeing Yi Changqing standing at the kitchen door, with a large pot and a table, the 3 of them were somewhat puzzled. Isn't it used to be cooking and stir-frying, and then they went to make it themselves? Why are you still boiling water today? Faced with the 3 people's questions, Yi Changqing smiled and replied. I invented a new dish and specially made it for you to taste, 3 people, right? Upon hearing this, the 3 of them nodded. Well, 3 people. Despite this, the 3 of them did not actually hold any hope in their hearts. They had tasted Yi Changqing's craftsmanship and could only say that it was easy to swallow. It was extremely ordinary and had no outstanding features, so they had no expectations. Just fill your stomach. Chapter 4. Eating Crazy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Upon hearing this, Yi Changqing began to cook noodles, while the 3 of them curiously approached the big table. As the distance drew closer, the 3 of them all smelled a fragrance and their eyes instantly locked onto the pot of mixed sauce, which was where the fragrance came from. It smells so good. The expression on their faces changed, and the fragrance made the 3 of them move their fingers. At this moment, the greedy insects in their stomachs completely erupted. Junior Brother Changqing, did you do this? Drooling flowed from the corner of his mouth, and he turned to ask Yi Changqing. That's right. Can we try this? Don't worry, 3 senior brothers. This mixed sauce needs to be paired with noodles to taste good. Just eating mixed sauce, upon hearing these words, Yi Changqing's mouth twitched. Didn't he still look indifferent just now? Upon hearing this, the 3 of them were not good at fighting and could only stand obediently at the table. However, looking at the bowl of mixed sauce, their eyes were emitting infinite radiance, and the saliva at the corners of their mouths couldn't stop flowing. Sleeping trough, Junior Brother, your saliva has dripped onto my shoes. Senior Brother, aren't you too? The collar is already wet. Ah! I have never felt that time passes so slowly. Looking at that pot of mixed sauce and then at Yi Changqing cooking noodles, the three of them only felt why the noodles were cooked so slowly today. Eating noodles as usual, doesn't it boil as soon as the water rises? Junior brother Changqing, haven't you recovered yet? This is already the third time urging. Upon hearing this, Yi Changqing said helplessly. Just one more stream of water is enough. Don't worry, three senior brothers. How can we not be in a hurry? As the saying goes, if you don't work hard, you have problems with your character. Young Master Changqing, I've seen it quite well. I prefer to eat harder noodles. For this mouthful of mixed sauce, the three of them had no bottom line. Before they came to the kitchen, unless there was really no other way, now the cooks have all come out. While the three of them were waiting, other miscellaneous disciples also arrived one after another and walked into the courtyard. Like the three of them, when they saw the big pot and the table, they were all stunned, but soon after smelling the aroma of the mixed sauce, each one became calm. This smell is simply irresistible to them. Junior brother Changqing, are you okay? I can't wait anymore, why don't you just give me a bowl of fresh noodles, junior brother? Senior brother likes to eat live animals. The noodles of the first three senior brothers are ready, and Yi Changqing adds them with mixed sauce, green onions, green melons, and other ingredients. And teach the three people to mix the noodles and mixed sauce before eating. The already irresistible aroma of mixed sauce, at this moment, with the stirring of the three, was even more fragrant, making everyone around drool one by one. Damn it, it really smells so good. I don't know what exactly it tastes like. The disciples stared at the three of them intently, wanting to know what the taste of this bowl of braised noodles they had never seen before was. Stir evenly. As the three picked up a chopstick and put it into their mouths, everyone held their breath and focused, waiting for their answer. On the other side, Yi Changqing, who was cooking noodles, shook her head and laughed, wondering why she was so nervous after eating noodles. How are you, junior brother? How does it taste? Is it delicious? Seeing the three of them chewing on the noodles in their mouths while enjoying themselves to the fullest, the senior brothers anxiously inquired. Is it delicious or not? Let me give you a sentence. The three of them did not answer, but the next second, they instantly transformed into abyss mouths, and the noodles in the bowl were continuously sucked into their mouths by the three in a storm. It felt like I had been hungry for a few days. Seeing this, everyone present didn't even know that this braised noodles were absolutely delicious. One by one, they frantically gathered around Yi Changqing, eagerly waiting for their own bowl of noodles. For a moment, the entire kitchen yard was filled with shouting. Changqing junior brother, please increase my appetite. Senior brother has been practicing his body recently and has a relatively large appetite. Didn't you say yesterday that you wanted to transfer to the Medicine King Peak to practice alchemy? You plan to transfer to the Medicine King Peak to refine your body. Junior brother, don't listen to him. Senior brother has been refining weapons recently, so give me a big bowl. Junior brother, is it okay? Look at the noodles floating up. It's okay, it's okay. Junior brother, where's my raw noodles? Senior brother doesn't like cooked food, just give me raw noodles directly. More than 10 or 20 people gathered around Yi Changqing and shouted loudly, but Yi Changqing remained unaffected and cooked the noodles step by step. This large pot can cook at least 10 bowls of noodles at once. Not long after, the second batch of noodles came out of the pot. Seeing this, many disciples turned red in their eyes. Looking at the more than 10 bowls of noodles, it seemed as if they had seen some rare treasure. The oldest senior brother among them said, My fellow disciples, I think our Taoist sect has always had a tradition of respecting the elderly and loving the young, so this braised noodles. My! What else was this senior brother planning to say, but before he could finish speaking, many junior brothers roared and rushed forward, directly squeezing him out of the crowd. I came first, come later. Do you understand? You didn't hear senior brother say you should respect the old and love the young just now. I'm senior brother, and this bowl of noodles should be given up to you. No, I can't say anything else, but this bowl of braised noodles must be mine. Junior brother, I'll give you a body refining pill. How about you let me eat this bowl of braised noodles first? I'll give you two, senior brother. Please let go. In order to get a bowl of braised noodles, the disciples even offered a body refining pill in exchange. You should know that this body refining pill is a necessary pill for cultivators in the body refining realm to cultivate. As miscellaneous disciples, they only have 10 pills per month. But now, just to exchange for this bowl of braised noodles. Moreover, everyone has not eaten it yet, but just by smelling the taste, it can be confirmed that this braised noodles is definitely a delicious dish on earth. Otherwise, why did those three people just eat it like starving a tiger? The speed of eating is simply not like that of humans. In fact, who has the most say right now is undoubtedly the three senior brothers who have already tasted the taste. At this point, a large bowl of braised noodles had already been eaten by the three of them. Smelling the fragrance, the taste was even more delicious, leaving people unsatisfied. The sauce mixed with noodles, the taste is simply irresistible. So, after finishing a bowl, the three of them walked quickly to Yi Chongqing without any hesitation. Junior brother, another bowl. As soon as these words were spoken, the other Marshall brothers who were originally still snatching braised noodles looked at the three of them one after another, each with a dangerous look in their eyes. The older senior brother, who used to be the oldest, showed a half-smile expression and said, "Senior brother thinks you should queue up at this time and let the senior brothers who haven't eaten eat first. What do you think?" For a moment, the oppressive feeling of more than 20 senior brothers made the three of them jump in their hearts. They unconsciously swallowed their saliva and were told by reason that they should listen to their senior brothers at this time, but their mouths were uncontrollably speaking. "But senior brother, I still want to eat." At the same time, other disciples had already grabbed the braised noodles. After learning how to mix them together like three others, they took a sip and instantly felt like they had been elevated. Okay. It's delicious. Chapter 5. Regret in a Bowl of Noodles. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The second batch of disciples who ate braised noodles, like the previous three, all transformed into abyssal giant mouths. It's just that the taste is too domineering. Even though they have an extraordinary status in ordinary people, they have never tasted such delicious food before. There is a very strange situation in Taoist sect, which is that external disciples and internal disciples may not have much background, and it is entirely due to talent. Almost half of the miscellaneous disciples have extraordinary births, at least in the secular world, either this young master or that young lady. In terms of background, the miscellaneous disciples of the Taoist sect are higher than those of the outer and even inner disciples. But now these young masters are eating one by one with oily mouths, and their mouths can't stop at all. Before everything in the bowl was finished, he shouted loudly to Yi Chongqing. "Junior brother Chongqing, have another bowl, you need a big one. And me, and me." In the entire yard, apart from shouting, there were only the sound of chattering. So much so that those who came later were puzzled at first, what was wrong with these people, a bowl of noodles. "Senior sister, what are you saying about these people?" Just like the two girls who had just arrived, they rushed over from the outside door and arrived very late. However, facing the people in this courtyard, and each one seemed to have been hungry for a few days, one of them curiously asked. Upon hearing this, another girl also shook her head in confusion. "I don't know, it's okay with him. Let's eat first." I don't know what happened, and the two women didn't get too conflicted. They quickly came to Yi Chongqing. "Junior brother, are you having noodles today?" "Then, 2 bowls." Upon hearing this, Yi Chongqing looked at the remaining noodles with some helplessness. "Sorry, senior sister. There's only 1 bowl left. I really didn't expect these guys to be so good at eating." You know, Yi Changqing prepared a whole 100 servings of noodles, but only over 40 people came and ate them all. There is only one bowl left at the moment. Upon hearing these words, the two women furrowed their brows slightly. It was obvious that they had not expected such a situation to occur. Just as the two women were still thinking about changing places to eat, the disciples beside them became excited. Is there only one bowl left? Brother Chongqing, cook it, and you can still eat it. Damn it, this last bowl is mine. I hope all the junior brothers can give me some face. I am willing to offer 2 body refining pills. Let me have this bowl of noodles, my fellow disciples. 2. Oh, I'll give you 3, you can give them to me. Our cultivators, how can we bend over for just a few pills? Junior brothers, I'll take this last bowl of noodles today. Upon hearing that there was only one bowl of noodles left, the disciples couldn't help but compete again. The two women who just arrived were confused about this. What is the situation? A bowl of noodles, these people are actually willing to exchange it for body refining pills, and they have already quoted for 3. Isn't this stupid? The two women who have never eaten braised noodles, how could they know that Yi Changqing's braised noodles not only have an unbeatable taste, but also have the effect of enhancing the body? All disciples who have eaten this have already felt it. Although the effect cannot be compared to that of body refining pills, the taste alone is enough to drive many disciples crazy. As for the body refining pills, they are all people with status and status in ordinary society. There is no way to use advanced pills, just 10 or 8 body refining pills, that's not a small deal. Junior brother Chongqing, give me this last bowl of noodles to eat. Senior brother, you forgot the rules you just mentioned. The 2 senior sisters have just arrived and they haven't eaten yet, so we have to wait for them to eat before it's your turn. First come, first served, no competition. This is the rule set by Yi Changqing just now. After all, with so many people, Yi Changqing cannot only satisfy a few people. And the system's praise is also calculated based on each person's order, 1 meal per order. The same person will not repeatedly calculate, and there is no distinction between cultivation levels. That is to say, the praise from the miscellaneous disciples is just as good as the praise from the sect leader, and they are treated equally. Upon hearing these words, the senior brother had no choice but to turn around and discuss with the 2 women. 2 junior sisters, why don't you give this bowl of noodles to senior brother? Senior brother, take 3, no, 5 body refining pills in exchange. To be honest, senior brother hasn't eaten for 5 days. The 2 junior sisters, for the sake of our friendship, should give this bowl of noodles to senior brother. Senior brother has a disease where he will die if he doesn't eat noodles. Truly, he definitely won't lie to the 2 junior sisters. The disciples of the Tao 1 sect don't lie to the disciples of the Tao 1 sect. Senior brother's words are true. For this bowl of noodles, this senior brother can be said to have used all kinds of means to coax and deceive. The 2 women who circled around were dizzy, but somehow they agreed. Seeing the 2 women nodding, the senior brother was immediately overjoyed and quickly gave the refining pill, as if afraid that the 2 women would turn back. He rushed to Yi Changqing with a hopeful expression on his face. Brother Chongqing, cook it all, hurry up. Seeing this, Yi Changqing smiled and shook his head without saying much. Since everyone had already agreed, he naturally wouldn't say anything more. As for the other disciples on the side, they looked at the 2 women with a speechless expression and spoke one after another. Junior sister, you guys are confused. Alas, the 5 body refining pills gave up a bowl of braised noodles. Do you know how foolish your decision was? It's still lacking in refinement, it's too simplistic. Yeah, knowing people knows their faces but not their hearts. Faced with brother Chongqing's braised noodles, even if it's my own brother, I can't believe it. Upon hearing the size of the disciples, the 2 women became even more confused. Isn't it just a bowl of braised noodles? How could they make it so mysterious? Moreover, a bowl of braised noodles with 5 body refining pills doesn't seem to be a loss, right? Thinking this way, but when the senior brother picked up the braised noodles and started stirring, as the aroma overflowed, the two women instantly felt inferior. Is this braised noodles so fragrant? Just smelling the smell makes people so eager to stop. Drool couldn't help flowing out, and the two women's eyes instantly turned to the senior brother holding braised noodles with a silly expression on his face, feeling that the body refining pill in his hand didn't seem so fragrant. Junior sister, keep your word. You have already given me this braised noodles. Sensing the gaze of the two women, the senior brother immediately became alert, protecting the bowl and speaking with a guarded expression. That senior brother, why don't we return the body refining pill to you? Don't even think about it. Not giving the two women a chance at all, leaving behind a sentence, the senior brother turned around and walked away, finding a deserted corner and began to chatter loudly. Watching the senior brother eat so deliciously, the two women felt as if they had missed something amazing. Senior sister. Feeling aggrieved, he looked at his senior sister and couldn't help but turn his head to look at Yi Changqing, and the answer he received was the same. Don't look at me, it's really gone. For a moment, the slightly younger woman, with red eyes, admitted that she regretted it. Why did she give up this bowl of braised noodles because of the 5 body refining pills? Chapter 6. Abundant Harvest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Looking at the chattering senior brother, who seemed to have no one around and was full of oil, the two women were drooling. Combined with the irresistible fragrance, it is even more regrettable than before. Why would I agree to him, woo-woo? Junior brother Changqing, is it really gone? Just one bowl, can you give us a bowl to eat? I couldn't help but feel that the younger woman was just coquettishly pulling Yi Changqing. The soft touch from her arms was very comfortable, but Yi Changqing still shook her head and said, Senior sister, there's really nothing left. Why don't you come earlier this afternoon? Never work overtime, even beautiful looks are useless. Although the girl is unwilling to do so, there is nothing she can do. After finishing a meal, everyone washed their own dishes, which is also Yi Changqing's rule. In his past life, Yi Changqing was afraid of washing dishes, even though he has traveled through time now. However, many senior brothers have no objection to this. With such delicious food, washing a bowl is not a trivial matter. Even when washing dishes, many people shout out. Can you help me wash the dishes? I'll wash a bowl of noodles for 3 days. Senior brother, I'll help you wash it. You can let junior brother you handle the braised noodles at night. Get lost, labor and capital will wash themselves. As Yi Changqing looked at everyone who was doing everything for a bowl of braised noodles, he smiled. After washing and collecting, the disciples reluctantly left, leaving only Yi Changqing in the courtyard. In fact, although Yi Changqing is a miscellaneous disciple, his work is not heavy. He can finish 2 meals a day and freely arrange the rest of his time. At this moment, the system's prompt sound came on. Host receives a positive review, rewards 1 point of physical fitness and 1 point of cultivation. Host receives a positive review, rewards 1 talent and 1 cultivation. Host receives a positive review, rewards 1 root bone and 1 cultivation point. Host receives a positive review, rewards 1 point of intelligence and 1 point of cultivation. Host receives a positive review, reward. Dozens of densely packed tips showed that Yi Changqing's cultivation had skyrocketed, directly breaking through the beginner level of the refining realm and achieving a small achievement in the refining realm. Open the panel. Host. Yi Changqing. Identity. A miscellaneous disciple of the Taoist sect. Cultivation. Refining body realm minor achievement, 23/200, fame. Silent and nameless. Talent. Lower level medium level, 70/100, root bone. Lower level upper level, 41/100, understanding. High grade medium level, 28/100000, I have successfully broken through my cultivation. Although my talent and bones have not broken through, they are not far apart. I should be able to break through in another day or two. After all, only over 40 disciples came to eat at noon. Feeling the growing power in his body, Yi Changqing nodded with satisfaction. It had only been half a day since he had bound the system, and he had successfully broken through his cultivation. You should know that my predecessor was introduced to breaking through the cultivation realm, but I spent a whole year practicing, and now I have reached it in half a day. There's nothing to do in the afternoon. Yi Changqing plans to practice for a while. The main focus of the body refining realm is still on refining the physical body, removing impurities from the body, making the body more in line with the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, and preparing for the entry of sensory energy into the body in the future. In fact, every major realm in the process of cultivation is interconnected. The refining realm lays the foundation for the sensory energy realm, and the sensory energy realm also lays the foundation for the Chomai realm. Sensing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, preparing for the subsequent use of spiritual energy to flush meridians. So every realm must take one step at a time, laying a solid foundation. Only in this way can we go further. The best way to cultivate the body refining realm is to use the body refining pill in combination with a medicinal bath. There are still a few pieces of the refining pill Yi Changqing left. After taking one, I quickly felt a surge of heat flowing through my body. Knowing that this is the effectiveness of the body refining pill, the heat flow is like the medicinal power washing away one's own body. Generally speaking, people with higher talents are better able to retain their medicinal power, while those with lower talents will lose a lot of medicinal power in vain. That's also why, with the same resources, people with high talent progress much faster than those with low talent. However, in just 1 week, Yi Changqing felt that the efficacy of the refining body pill had disappeared. This is outrageous. A body refining pill must have at least 3 to 5 zhou tian, and those external disciples start with 10 zhou tian. But when it comes to myself, 1 zhou tian will be gone. This means that a body refining pill, Yi Changqing only absorbed at most 1/10 of the medicinal effect, and the other 90% were wasted in vain. This is just a waste of refining. The effect of taking 10 body refining pills on oneself is equivalent to 1 from others, and this is not a 1 + 1 = 2 problem. It cannot be calculated in this way, as there are many complex aspects involved. Overall, my talent is really not suitable for cultivation. That's also why cultivating immortals depends on talent. It's not just about having perseverance, talent is not enough. Even if you work hard day and night, in the end, it's still meaningless. Because the lifespan of ordinary people is only a few decades, you have perseverance, but do you have enough time? You should know the 3 basic realms of refining body, feeling qi, and pulse, but they will not increase your lifespan much. Only when you reach the end of the elixir realm can you significantly increase your lifespan. You have poor talent and cannot cross the basic 3 realms in your lifetime, so you have to wait for death. The same goes for Yi Changqing before, but now it's different. After practicing for an afternoon, there hasn't been much improvement in talent yet, but he's not discouraged. He's afraid of everything and just persevere. Check the time, should we prepare dinner or braised noodles? This time, even before it was time for lunch, many disciples arrived at the kitchen, all of whom had come to eat at noon. After tasting Yi Changqing's braised noodles, when they returned, everyone could be described as sitting restless, with this mouthful of noodles hanging in their minds. I finally saw that the time was almost up, so I rushed over in a hurry. It smells so good. When the first batch of senior brothers arrived, Yi Changqing had not even cooked the mixed sauce, but the fragrance that permeated the yard still made everyone drool. Standing one by one in the yard, stretching their necks to look at the kitchen, just waiting for that bite of braised noodles. Stir-fry the mixed sauce and heat the water in a pan. Junior brother Changqing, let's do these rough jobs. I fetch water. I'll chop firewood. I'll make a fire. No need for Yi Changqing to say anything, everyone consciously wrapped up these rough jobs, just to be able to eat this braised noodles as soon as possible. Regarding this, Yi Changqing could only helplessly smile. Senior brother, don't worry, it will be over soon. Okay, we're not in a hurry. With a hissing sound in his mouth, he even nodded, but his appearance lacked any persuasiveness. Not long after, other senior brothers also rushed over and heard shouts before entering the yard. Brothers, hurry up. If you go late, you won't be able to eat Brother Changqing's braised noodles. Senior brother said, if you go late, there won't be any more. A group of people rushed into the courtyard, only to see that there were already more than 10 people waiting here early. Everyone was taken aback, and then regretted it deeply. It was really late. Chapter 7. Cooking Well. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I had already rushed over as soon as possible, but to my surprise, these 6 old men came earlier than me. Did you really stay here all afternoon? No, just arrived. First come, second come, everyone consciously lined up. The first to arrive was extremely excited, while the latter complained incessantly. However, no one jumped in the queue. After all, this was the rule set by Yi Changqing, and even if Yi Changqing didn't say anything, the other disciples wouldn't agree. For this braised noodles, never doubt the determination of these disciples. Being fair is good for everyone, and those who cut in line will definitely become the public enemy of everyone. A long queue lined up outside the yard, and at this time, there was no noodles for lunch. The 2 girls who had been waiting for the whole afternoon also hurriedly rushed over. On the way, he proudly said. Senior sister, there must be no problem this time. We all came so early and haven't arrived yet. The time had already been advanced, and the 2 women thought they had arrived early enough, but to their surprise, they saw a long queue before entering the yard. The 2 women were instantly stunned. Junior brother, are you here? Waiting for dinner, senior sister is also here for dinner. Please queue up. Looking at the queue that had already been lined up outside the hospital, the smiles on the faces of the 2 women froze. It's not time for dinner yet, what's going on with these people? I thought I came early enough, but to my surprise, this group of seniors came earlier. This is even more outrageous than receiving cultivation resources every month. At that time, I never saw them so excited. Now, just for a bowl of braised noodles. I wanted to step forward and see the situation, but just as I took 2 steps, many disciples were unhappy and said. Hey, junior sister, don't break the rules. Line up later. Yes, we're all in line. First come, first served. Do you understand? Just taking 2 steps forward, the 2 women were met with opposition from the crowd. Seeing this, they shrank their necks and could only regretfully retreat, obediently standing at the end of the queue. What should I do, senior sister? Is it impossible to eat again? What's the difference between this bowl of braised noodles? Wait a minute, maybe we can get some. I can only comfort myself this way, I hope I can have a bite. Meanwhile, at the peak of Shenzhen Peak, this is already the place where the elders, disciples, and the peak master reside. At this moment, in a cave, a drunken old man was speaking to a young girl named Loli in front of him. Yuyo, have you remembered everything I just said to you? Well, I remember everything. Do you have any further questions? Without my master. Then step back. I'm leaving, disciple. Respectfully exiting the cave, the girl didn't stop and headed straight to the foot of the mountain, even ignoring anyone calling her along the way. Hey, what is younger sister Yuyu doing? She's so anxious. Yeah, I didn't even pay attention to calling her, and I still headed straight to the foot of the mountain. Doubted, as a disciple passed down personally, I shouldn't be so impolite. Perhaps something urgent happened, but I haven't heard of any major events happening. This girl, Loli, is none other than Lu Yuyu, who was the first to taste braised noodles. After eating that bowl of braised noodles in the morning, Lu Yuyu thought about this delicious food all day. She was supposed to come at noon, but was stopped by her master and couldn't escape. Finally enduring until the afternoon, for this meal of braised noodles, Lu Yuyu said she wanted to eat anything. So, after bidding farewell to my master, I eagerly rushed straight to the kitchen. The speed was directly increased to the extreme, and soon they had already arrived at the foot of the mountain. The people queuing outside the kitchen only felt a gust of wind blowing, and then a white shadow flashed past. What went over just now? I didn't see it clearly, big white mouse. Damn it, that big white mouse is clearly a person. I also wonder why there are so many people outside the kitchen, but Lu Yuyu can't care about so many. She only wants to have a bite of braised noodles now. Standing in the courtyard in an instant, his big eyes sparkled as he looked at Yi Changqing. Junior brother Changqing. Sweetly shouting, upon hearing the words, Yi Changqing, who was cooking noodles, looked up and saw that it was Lu Yuyu before responding with a smile. So it's senior sister Yuyu. Yeah, I came to eat noodles again. Upon hearing this, Yi Changqing had not yet spoken, and the many disciples around him were the first to stop. Senior sister, you can have noodles, but please queue up later. It can be seen that Lu Yuyu is not a miscellaneous disciple, but because she did not wear the clothing of a personal disciple, everyone was unable to determine her identity at the moment, but at least she should also be an external disciple. At present, even if you are an external disciple, what can you do? Line up and go. Perhaps it was the first time experiencing such a thing, and Lu Yuyu looked at Yi Changqing with a puzzled expression on his face. Seeing this, Yi Changqing also said helplessly. Senior sister Yuyu, this is the rule of the kitchen, and I can't do anything about it. At Yi Changqing's place, there is no such thing as a laborer, an outsider, an insider, or a personal transmission. Anyway, everyone can provide some positive feedback for each meal, so everyone is the same. Seeing Yi Changqing's firm words, Lu Yuyu pouted in disappointment, but still nodded. Oh, junior brother, you must keep a bowl for me. Okay, senior sister, don't worry, this meal is well prepared and definitely enough to eat. Bowls of noodles were taken out of the pot, and soon everyone ate braised noodles. People who have eaten it are still in a state of turmoil, while those who have not eaten it are even more excited. Just like those two girls, who were eating braised noodles in big gulps and tears of happiness flowing from the corners of their eyes, without any concern for their appearance. Woo-woo, senior sister, it's so delicious. I was really foolish at noon. I promised to exchange 5 body refining pills for a bowl of braised noodles. I regret it so much. I completely regret it. If I had known it was so delicious, I wouldn't have exchanged even 5 or 10 body refining pills at noon. The sound of chattering and the constant sound of adding noodles. Everyone feels greatly satisfied both physically and mentally, and even some people speak to Yi Changqing. Junior brother Changqing, why don't we change it to 3 meals a day? As soon as this statement was spoken, it instantly gained everyone's approval. Yeah, senior brother Changqing, they all say that having 3 meals a day is healthier. I agree. Agree damn health, a group of cultivators talking to me about this. After thinking about it, having 3 meals a day is also good, but may time be too tight. Yi Changqing is planning to acquire some cultivation resources recently. Although he has a system, he cannot slack off. At least before going to bed at night, he must practice for a while. So she shook her head and refused. Senior brothers and sisters, I'm really sorry. Junior brothers also need to practice on their own and find ways to obtain cultivation resources. Having 3 meals a day is just too much for me. Even as a miscellaneous disciple, in addition to a fixed monthly resource, in order to obtain cultivation resources, they still need to complete tasks. Upon hearing these words, Lu Yuyu stood up first, took out more than 10 jade bottles, and placed them in front of Yi Changqing. Is junior brother Chongqing lacking cultivation resources? Senior sister has them here. You don't have to worry about these small things in the future, just use them. Chapter 8. The Soul of the Cooking Man. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Looking at the dozen or so bottles of pills and powder in front of him, Yi Chongqing was a bit stunned. At this moment, the other disciples also came to their senses and said one by one. Yeah, senior brother Chongqing, if you're short of elixirs, let us know. Senior brother, there are still 10 body refining elixirs here, so you can use them first. I've been feeling a bit tight lately, with only 3 bottles of forging liquid powder left. You keep it, junior brother Chongqing. I'll have my family deliver the money in 2 days. You don't have to worry about small things like cultivating resources. With us, junior brother, you can focus on practicing and just cook. Yes, there's no need for junior brother to worry about some small matters. Good guy. Yi Chongqing didn't expect that with just one simple sentence, he could instantly obtain hundreds of body refining pills and body refining liquid. This is outrageous, and from the tone of these people, it seems like there is something I need in the future. Just tell them. When did cultivation resources become so precious? Yi Chongqing has not yet realized that the reason why everyone is like this is simply to talk about it. If Yi Chongqing still had to do tasks for the sake of cultivation resources, wouldn't they have less time to talk to each other in the future? This is absolutely not possible, so it's not worth mentioning the limited cultivation resources. Yi Chongqing and his team raised them. After the big deal, do a few more tasks. Can't so many people still afford to raise Yi Chongqing? Is this not good? What is brother Chongqing saying? With some cultivation resources, you can't refuse. That's right, if junior brother doesn't accept it, I won't be able to come and eat noodles in the future. Unable to refuse, in the end, Yi Chongqing could only accept it. However, if he accepted someone else's things, he naturally had to make a gesture. Immediately, Yi Chongqing changed the original 2 meals per day in the kitchen to 3 meals. Upon hearing these words, everyone cheered and pondered in their hearts. Previously, I could eat noodles twice a day, but now it has become 3 times a day. In that month, I ate an extra 30 times, and in a year, I ate an extra 365 times. Jie counting down, many people laughed strangely. This cultivation resource is not a loss, and it will continue to be the case in the future. We cannot let these bullshit things ruin our cooking, which will affect the cooking steps of junior brother Chongqing. After finishing the meal, everyone consciously washed dishes and tidied up, and Lu Yuyu did the same. As night fell, everyone also left one after another, but Lu Yuyu stayed until the end. When she was the only one left in the yard, Yi Chongqing came to her with a teapot and asked. Senior sister, what's up? Chongqing junior brother, if I want to make junior brother my attendant, is junior brother willing? Lu Yuyu said eagerly. In the Taoist sect, disciples, peak leaders, main seat elders, and above can have attendants. The so-called attendant is equivalent to being bound to an individual. For example, if Yi Chongqing becomes the attendant of Lu Yuyu, it would be a win-win situation. Of course, there are also many benefits, such as taking 2 portions of cultivation resources, one belonging to the sect and the other belonging to Lu Yuyu. And it also adds an extra support. Perhaps afraid of Yi Chongqing's refusal, Lu Yuyu paused and then said again. Don't worry, junior brother. I will definitely not mistreat you. In the future, I will take care of all your cultivation resources. Upon hearing these words, Yi Chongqing looked at Lu Yuyu with some surprise, not realizing that this girl was actually a disciple passed down personally. Only the personally transmitted disciples are qualified to have attendants. I thought she was just an inner disciple at most, but unexpectedly, she was still a big shot. You should know that the entire Divine Sword Peak has only 7 disciples who have been passed down personally. Being able to become the attendant of a personal disciple is something that countless people strive for, not to mention being a miscellaneous disciple. Even external and even internal disciples are no exception. After all, personally passing down disciples is equivalent to a prince of a secular dynasty. Following them means being a close retainer, and there are many benefits. Not to mention that Lu Yuyu is still a beautiful loli, it's a safe bonus. Without much hesitation, Yi Changqing shook her head and refused. Thank you for your kind words, senior sister. However, junior brother currently has no such thoughts. The reason why Lu Yuyu said this, as Yi Changqing could guess, was simply because of his good craftsmanship. However, if he followed her, he would have to cook for her alone in the future. This is not beneficial for one's own improvement, and Yi Changqing is also unwilling to submit to others. Although I am only a miscellaneous disciple now, I am still happy and at ease in this kitchen, sharing 3 acres of land. As for the cultivation resources, to put it bluntly, is Yi Changqing still lacking? Lu Yuyu felt a bit disappointed about this, but he didn't force it either. Well. Then I'll come to you every day to eat. No problem, this is already the kitchen of Xinjian Peak. You can come and see, senior sister Yuyu. Smiling and nodding, revealing 2 small dimples, then Lu Yuyu also left. It's time for harvest again, and the system prompt sounds as expected. The number of people in this evening's meal is several more than noon, there are more than 50 people, right? Host. Yi Changqing. Identity. A miscellaneous disciple of the Taoist sect. Cultivation. Refining body realm minor achievement, 76/200, fame. Without a name. Talent. Lower level upper level, 3/100, root bone. Lower level upper level, 61/100, understanding. High grade medium level, 30/100000. There was no breakthrough in cultivation, but the talent has reached the lower and higher levels. The braised noodles have a 100 out of 100 positive review rate, and the reward dish is stir-fried meat. 0 out of 100. Another thing is that the braised noodles received high praise and were rewarded with a new dish. Plus the previous pills, the harvest was very good. After practicing for an hour and soaking in a medicinal bath, Yi Changqing fell into a beautiful dream. However, he slept comfortably, but the disciples tossed and turned and couldn't sleep. Damn it, why isn't it still dawn? Marinated noodles, shudder. Who the hell is snatching my face? We are brothers, I can let you do anything else, but only braised noodles, you can't snatch mine. Many miscellaneous disciples, some couldn't sleep at all, some fell asleep, and their mouths were also talking vaguely in their dreams. Finally staying up until dawn, as Yi Changqing said yesterday, starting from today, the kitchen will provide breakfast. So, early on, there were dozens of miscellaneous disciples in the miscellaneous disciple area. Oh, wake up so early, don't you usually sleep until noon? Some disciples were a bit curious when they saw this scene. When did these guys become so diligent? After a simple wash, the vast army of diners headed straight towards the kitchen, ignoring the person who invited them to eat. Brother Chen, come to my place for breakfast. I won't go. Brother Wang, where are you going so early? Dry rice. Watching these people's strange actions, the other miscellaneous disciples were puzzled. It's early in the morning, why are everyone's eyes shining red, like a fierce tiger descending the mountain, trying to eat people? Chapter 9. These guys have problems. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Early in the morning, just as the sky was getting dark, dozens of disciples had already gathered outside the kitchen. When Yi Changqing opened the door, he was also startled by the sight outside. Senior brothers and sisters, did you come too early? No early, no early. That's right, the plan for the day is in the morning, getting up early is not a big deal. Everyone shook their heads one by one. God knows how they spent last night for this bowl of braised noodles, and their dreams were all about noodles. Regarding this, Yi Changqing was also helpless. These guys were really fighting to make a living. Without saying much, let everyone enter the courtyard. Yi Changqing went to pick up miscellaneous sauce. Everyone consciously chopped the wood, carried water, and lit a fire, in order to have this braised noodles earlier. Not long after, the fragrance of mixed sauce drifted in the courtyard, and dozens of disciples of Xinjian Peak squatted together in groups of 3 or 5, disregarding their appearance, and ate in such large gulps. Each one was devouring food like a wolf, without any trace of the temperament of a sect disciple, more like a rural old man in the secular world. Changqing junior brother, add a bowl of noodles. 2 bowls. We also need it here. The sound of adding noodles kept coming and going, even female disciples had to eat at least 2 bowls, let alone male disciples. Junior brother Changqing, prepare more noodles for lunch. After finishing, everyone washed their dishes and tidied up. Some even said to Yi Changqing, this braised noodles is not enough to eat. As soon as he said this, he immediately won the approval of everyone present, but Yi Changqing shook his head. I stopped eating noodles at noon and researched a new dish. I eat noodles every meal, and even if I eat too much, I will get tired. Yesterday, the system rewarded me with a new dish of stir-fried meat, which can help me change their taste. It is also a very ordinary home-cooked dish, made with top-quality red pork, with a combination of fat and lean, and simple preparation. Paired with rice, it is definitely a delicacy. Upon hearing of eating new dishes at noon, many disciples were amazed. In the past, they might not have any expectations at all, but now, after tasting braised noodles, everyone has completely changed their perception of Yi Changqing's craftsmanship. Okay, what can I do for you, junior brother Changqing? Just let me know. That's right, I still have a few body refining pills here. Junior brother Changqing, you're tired. Take them to practice. Senior brother, you're welcome. There were still quite a few pills here yesterday. This is not a conflict. If you think there are too many, junior brother, just eat them as sugar beans. I heard that there was a new dish to eat, and everyone showed great hospitality one by one. Some took the initiative to help, while others sent pills and powder. Although Yi Changqing waved his hand repeatedly to refuse, he still had to accept these pills in the end. I would rather give Yi Changqing sugar beans to eat than take them back. You don't need to help. Senior brothers and sisters, just come and see us on time. There was nothing to help with, and upon hearing this, everyone stopped talking much. After breakfast, they left one after another. Almost all of them are miscellaneous disciples, and everyone has a task at their disposal, so it is impossible for them to stay with Yi Changqing all the time. However, Lu Yuyu didn't leave. Looking at her left alone, Yi Changqing smiled. Is senior sister Yuyu okay today? I'm free every day. Upon hearing this, Lu Yuyu smiled and replied, while Yi Changqing tugged at the corner of her mouth. I mean, doesn't senior sister Yuyu need to practice? Yes, I do, but I'm not in a hurry. Just practice tonight. By the way, do you need any help, junior brother? As a personal disciple, Lu Yuyu's only task is to cultivate, and there are people to help her with everything else. However, the thought of having new dishes for lunch left the girl with no intention of cultivation, so she chose to stay here and wait until noon. Seeing this, Yi Changqing didn't say much anymore and planned to practice first, as it was still early before noon. Senior sister, please help yourself. Junior brother, I'll practice for a while first. Then I'll teach you. Without any hesitation, he said that the personal guidance of a disciple passed down personally is something that can be encountered but not sought by any disciple. Moreover, in order to have such an opportunity, an extremely high price must be paid. After all, not everyone can come into contact with the biological disciples, just like many miscellaneous disciples have never recognized the identity of Lu Yuyu because they never have contact with the biological disciples on a daily basis. Okay. Yi Changqing did not refuse either, and then the two of them started practicing in the yard. Just half an hour later, Lu Yuyu began to have some doubts about life. Perhaps it's because everyone has different experiences. From childhood to adulthood, Lu Yuyu has been surrounded by talented people. However, Yi Changqing's talent is quite indescribable. He has a high level of intelligence. He can understand many things related to cultivation by saying them once, and even draw analogies. However, when he truly cultivates, it completely changes. It's the kind of feeling where the brain understands, but the hands and feet don't understand. Simple basic martial arts skills require Yi Changqing to learn for a long time every move. In Lu Yuyu's opinion, such simple martial arts skills should be mastered once or twice. Looking at the doubt in Lu Yuyu's eyes, Yi Changqing could not help but blush. Senior sister Yuyu, why don't you go rest first and I'll practice on my own for a while? No, I can do it. If not, let's practice twice more. Master said that diligence can make up for weakness. Lu Yuyu stubbornly said, this little girl is persistent. If she wants to teach Yi Changqing how to practice, then she must teach her. Practicing until near noon, Yi Changqing began preparing lunch. However, Lu Yuyu was lost in contemplation alone, pondering how to teach his younger martial brother Changqing. I didn't care about her either. I brought half a fan of red striped pork, weighing over 100 pounds. It should be enough for lunch. Wash, slice, marinate, then prepare ingredients, and even cook rice. Just as Yi Changqing was preparing lunch, there were miscellaneous disciples silently counting the time all over the Xinjian peak. At the main square on the mountainside, more than 10 miscellaneous disciples were cleaning up, and 3 of them gathered together, drooling. How much longer is it? Don't worry, it will be half an hour before we have dinner. Damn it, why is there half an hour left? I'm starving to death. Stop talking nonsense, quickly finish scanning and go to the queue. Be careful not to miss any food if you're late. Right. Hurry up and finish queuing up. In order to take a bite, the 3 of them instantly felt like they had beaten chicken blood, and the broom in their hands was simply waved out of their sight. As the 3 of them swung their brooms to smoke, the other group of miscellaneous disciples all had complex expressions and puzzled eyes. Senior brother, are they okay? Why do you feel abnormal? I don't know, but what kind of martial arts skills are you practicing? No, what martial arts skills are related to brooms? I don't think so. Damn it, it's on fire. Look at it. Following my fingers, I saw one of the people's brooms being swung and catching fire. Everyone was completely dumbfounded for a moment, just sweeping the floor. What do you mean by swinging the broom? Chapter 10. Another one. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The burning broom in the hands of this miscellaneous disciple is like a wind and fire wheel. Got it, junior brother Cheng, the broom's on. Upon seeing this, the other miscellaneous disciples shouted one after another. Upon hearing this, junior brother Cheng realized that his entire broom had been burned down. Just now, I just wanted to finish scanning quickly and then have dinner, but I didn't notice this at all. At this moment, he reacted and quickly stamped out the fire with a few feet, speaking to the broom with a resentful expression. It's not very useful, almost causing me great trouble. Speaking, he casually threw it away and said to the other miscellaneous disciples. Senior brother, please use the broom. Junior brother, are you okay? A little worried, he asked. This guy's condition was clearly not right, but junior brother Cheng shook his head, took the broom, and started cleaning again. They haven't been to the kitchen, so naturally they don't know what Cheng junior brother and the 3 of them are thinking. After finishing their work, let's go get some work done. Not only junior brother Cheng but also the other miscellaneous disciples accelerated their movements, hoping to finish it quickly and queue up quickly. However, everyone had a tacit understanding and did not speak out. They are not stupid. There is only Yi Changqing in the kitchen, and now there are only a few dozen people, which is a bit insufficient to eat. If there are more people, it will be a waste of time. So, people who have been to the kitchen have all chosen to conceal it. If there is one less person coming, then there will be one less mouth, so they can eat 2 more bites themselves. It's a reasonable thing, no problem. Not only are the miscellaneous disciples in a hurry, but at this moment, a woman in a white long dress and with a cool demeanor is hurriedly searching for something in the personally transmitted disciple area. Junior brother, have you seen Sister Yuyu? This woman is also a personal disciple. She didn't see Lu Yuyu early this morning and searched around but couldn't find her. Upon hearing this, the disciple shook his head. I didn't see it, but senior sister Yuyu seemed to have hurried down the mountain yesterday evening, and I know what happened. Upon hearing this, the woman nodded and hurried towards the foot of the mountain. She searched all over the mountaintop area but didn't see Lu Yuyu, so she had to go to the foot of the mountain to try her luck. What is this girl doing at the foot of the mountain? Isn't that the area for miscellaneous disciples? As the last disciple of the God Sword Peak Master to close the door, Lu Yuyu was extremely favored among his senior brothers and sisters. Now that he has suddenly disappeared, it naturally makes people anxious. As for Lu Yuyu at this moment, she was in the kitchen, drooling as she watched the freshly cooked pot of stir-fried meat. As for other matters, she had long forgotten about them. It smells so good. Senior sister, taste it. With the words spoken, Yi Changqing handed over a pair of chopsticks and said with a smile. Upon hearing this, Lu Yuyu took the chopsticks and said in a daze. Is that okay? Naturally. With the consent of Yi Changqing, Lu Yuyu didn't hesitate and picked up a chopstick to stir-fry meat before stuffing it into his mouth. For a moment, the fragrance of meat filled her mouth, a feeling that was indescribable, making Lu Yuyu squint her eyes and show a look of enjoyment. Delicious, it's so delicious, even more delicious than braised noodles. Moreover, this fried meat actually has the effect of enhancing qi and blood. Although this enhancement can be negligible for Lu Yuyu, it is much more useful for cultivators in the cultivation realm. If you can eat such food for a long time, it can definitely have a multiplier effect on the cultivation of cultivators in the body refining realm. With just one chopstick, Lu Yuyu was completely conquered. Looking at Yi Changqing, he repeatedly praised with a satisfied expression on his face. Delicious, it's really delicious. It's good if senior sister likes it. Afterwards, Lu Yuyu couldn't help but pick up a few more chopsticks, blushing with embarrassment every time. After all, this was lunch prepared for everyone, and her current behavior is stealing, but she couldn't help it. The last bite, really the last bite. I always make excuses like this, but soon after, I can't help but pick up a chopstick. Not long after, Yi Changqing brought a large bucket of cooked rice and stir-fried meat to the kitchen door, still setting up a large table. At the same time, the first batch of disciples also arrived, and as soon as they entered the gate, they smelled the fragrance and their fingers twitched in an instant. Is this the new dish of senior brother Changqing? It smells so good. Seeing someone coming, Lu Yuyu flashed and instantly ranked first. Although he had eaten a lot earlier, it was still not enough and he wanted to continue eating. Seeing this, the others also consciously lined up. With the passage of time, more and more people gathered, and soon the queue lined up outside the yard. Everyone is waiting for the meal, waiting for it is like being eager to see through. But at that moment, a woman flew over from the sky and saw so many people below. At first, it was a bit strange. What were all these people doing here? Just when she saw the first one, Lu Yuyu, the woman was taken aback and immediately descended from the sky. Junior sister. Directly falling into the courtyard, Upon hearing the words, Lu Yu turned his head to look, and a sweet smile immediately appeared on his face. Second senior sister. The woman's name is Lu Shuang, and she is also a disciple of the divine sword peak of the Taoist sect. Finally, I have found Lu Yu, Lu Shuang said expressionlessly. Junior sister, what are you doing here? Lu Shuang has a naturally cold temperament. In all these years at the divine sword peak, she has hardly ever been close to anyone, and even the other disciples who are also personally passed down are rarely able to talk to her. After Lu Yu joined the school, the relationship between the two was relatively good. Wait for dinner. Faced with Lu Shuang's questioning, Lu Yu didn't even want to reply directly, but Lu Shuang was taken aback by these words. Eating. Are you a disciple who has been passed down to eat in the kitchen? Junior sister, are you serious? Staring at the landing with suspicion for a while, he finally asked in a faint voice. Well, second senior sister, don't underestimate junior brother Chongqing. His craftsmanship is amazing. Both Lu Yu and Lu Shuang have already cleared their valleys. Who would have thought that one day, Lu Yu would still be aroused by someone's desire to speak? This made Lu Shuang unconsciously turn her gaze to Yi Chongqing. Seeing that he only had a small cultivation level in the realm of refining his body, and had no other outstanding qualities except for his handsome appearance, he frowned slightly. Junior sister, don't make a fuss. Come back with me. Master is still waiting for you. Lu Shuang completely doesn't believe what Lu Yu said. Although the aroma in this courtyard is indeed strong, who is she? Second senior sister of Xinjian Peak, how could she be affected by this fragrance? However, Lu Yu firmly shook his head and refused, saying that he had to finish everything before leaving. And the conversation between the two did not catch the attention of many disciples present, even though Lu Shuang himself said that Lu Yu was a disciple passed down personally. Everyone's eyes were only focused on cooking at this moment, no matter what kind of disciple you pass down personally. Even the person behind Lu Yu whispered. Senior sister Lu, if you have something to do, go ahead first. Don't let the peak master wait for too long. Yes, if senior sister Lu has something to do, go quickly and don't delay the main task.